This is conspiracy. She sounds apologetic because she got caught. Why on earth did he go on a date with the ex? Disrespectful to the max. Down with evil mother-in-law. Hey guys, welcome to Honey Hearts. I'm V, and today's stories will make you say, that's messed up. Now, before we hop into them, I want to take a moment to thank you guys and celebrate because we reached 2,000 subscribers, guys. Yay! Thank you to you guys that tune in and leave your thoughts and comments and like the video. I appreciate you. First story is from the subreddit AITA. My husband went on a last date with his ex a week before we got married to make sure. Make sure of what? All right, I have to say it. My gut feeling is screaming at the husband here is, why on earth do you need to go on a last date with your ex a week before your wedding? And what exactly were you trying to confirm or make sure of? OP says, his ex was always, quote, the one who got away, according to everyone around him. Big eyebrow raise at that. So everyone around the husband is saying that he has the one that got away? Do you guys believe in that notion? The idea that, and I don't know if this is more of a US catchphrase or this is an internationally known phrase, but when I think of the one that got away, I'm thinking it's the one that you couldn't have or the one that you broke up against your will because of some unfortunate circumstances that were beyond your control. It would make me really uncomfortable if I knew that my fiance had someone that got away and that person wasn't me. In my opinion, your partner should not have anyone who, quote, got away. Because if you're still reminiscing about this person and they're still the one that you couldn't have for whatever reason, go find that person. Don't be here with me. We don't need to have a conversation because I want to be the trophy, the one for you, the prize, the ultimate, thing that, or ray of light that shines on your life, that fulfills you. I don't want to be the one that got away or the one that came after the one that got away. That's even worse. Let's see the story. OP says he ended things because he didn't see a future with her, but everyone around him was shocked because she's so good and beautiful. How is she the one that got away if husband didn't see a future with her? Maybe everyone else just needs to just keep their mouth shut. OP says he ended things because he didn't see a future with her, but everyone around him was shocked because she's so good and beautiful. Then we met, and I soon understood that everyone from his side preferred her. I even heard some call me the Camilla, although I am neither much older nor less attractive. In my opinion, I love how I look even if I don't tick all of the beauty boxes like tall, blonde, blue eyes, etc. like his ex. Oh, is this a thing? I didn't know this. So Camilla, I think of a flower. Is that where it comes from? But is that a normal phrase that people call someone who's older and less attractive? That's kind of gross. OP continues, he's never given me any reason to doubt him. However, he gave me the impression that he knew exactly what he wanted, was secure enough in his heart that he told me he loved me a few months into our relationship, and I never felt like he was lying or that I wasn't enough. He's fully aware of what people think about him leaving his ex, and he gave the impression that he thought they were silly and childish. He told his mom that I am who he chose, and if she wanted a part of it, she needed to clean up her act. Okay, so it seems like it's more the surrounding people, the gossip around it, but husbands defended OP, told off mother-in-law, seems to love OP. So if he's so secure in the relationship, why on earth did he go on a date with the ex? You know what? Patience. There must be a rational reason for this. OP continues, we got married 3 years ago, and only now I found out that he went on a date with his ex a few days before our wedding. He wanted to know for sure that she wasn't like everyone around him thought, the one who got away. He wanted to make 100% sure. Say what now? You know what my pet peeve with some of these stories, especially wedding ones that we hear? Why do people treat marriage or the wedding as if it is the blossoming of the real relationship or a whole new world? If you weren't 100% sure a few days before your wedding, how even less sure were you on the day of your engagement, on the day of your proposal? I don't understand. What kind of awakening did husband have or epiphany did he have that he feels that it's okay for him a few days before his wedding to go meet up with the ex for an actual date to confirm 100% that she's not the one that got away. If anything, this would tell me otherwise. The fact that you want to go on a date with an ex would tell me, or OP in this case, that, oh, you're not 100% with me because you're still like, you have one foot in the other pot. You're still considering leaping over the fence and exploring what's out there. To confirm what everyone else thought, why does it matter what everyone else thought? Are you so insecure in your own feelings that you need the validation of people around you in terms of your romantic partner? I know I'm judging husband harshly, guys, but I feel like giving him the boot right now. He sucks. I can't imagine ever wanting to go on a date with an ex while I'm engaged, much less pre-wedding, like 3 days before my wedding. That's ridiculous. No, something stinks here. OP says, his mom told me gleefully when she visited our new baby and she looked at my daughter and said she wondered what would have happened if he changed his mind after that date. And she was visiting their baby now. My husband and the one who got aways. With a sigh, but gleefully. You know what I mean. I haven't spoken to him for a week and I hate silent treatment, but I just can't talk to him. It isn't something I'm doing to punish him or manipulate him or get the upper hand and control him. I just can't look at him or talk to him. Am I the a-hole for the silent treatment? Oh. First off, the gentle side of me, the one that was trying to be patient with this whole situation and trying to rationalize what husband did and chose to do prior to their marriage years ago, was immediately chased away by the devil with a pitchfork because of what happened with the mom-in-law. The audacity of mom-in-law to now spill all of this while visiting OP's daughter, OP and her son's daughter. This is not the type of conversation you say because you're watching out for your daughter-in-law. This is something you say to be spiteful, to stir up the pot, to stir up trouble, and to break them up. Because who says, oh, stroking imagine she's like patting the grandchild's head or holding the baby and she's going, oh, I wonder what would have happened after all if this baby was actually so-and-so's, the ex's baby and my son's instead. That's absolutely a miserable and horrible and spiteful thing to say. Mother-in-law is pure evil. I'm convinced she's the evil mother-in-law. Not redeemable at all. And it makes her the a-hole. OP's asking if she's the a-hole for the silent treatment thing, but mother-in-law is an a-hole. Not asked, but answer has been provided. In terms of the silent treatment, I don't think she's an a-hole. I think she's trying to process. I think she's hurt and OP's probably trying to process all this information because she's finding out that her husband, who she thought was so secure in the relationship and feelings, felt insecure enough to go on a date with an ex before their wedding. That stings. That stings. And he never told her. Now she has to learn from a third party. That's even worse. First comment, why did his mother know about this date? Another comment saying, I bet she orchestrated somehow, got into the son's ear about, quote, needing to be sure or nudge the ex into suggesting a date. Oh, you know what? I see it. I see a plot. It could be a plot. It could be a conspiracy. I see that. Even if that happened, even if mother-in-law was whispering in her son's ear and saying, oh, you should make sure, go on the date anyway, just to see. There's no harm in checking. Even if she was whispering these things, he actually did it. He went and took action. So husband is 100% in the wrong as well. Another comment, wow, mother-in-law had this locked and loaded for 3 years. She was happy to see grandbaby, but effing ecstatic to see your face when she dropped that bomb. She's like the evil antagonist you love to hate on a TV show. But in real life, she's got to go. Before we even get to the judgment on the husband, the situation, OP should distance herself from mother-in-law. I think it's even enough to say that mother-in-law shouldn't be allowed to visit the baby. First time visiting your grandbaby and what comes out of your mouth is, oh, I wonder if someone else would have been your grandbaby is basically what she's saying, right? I wonder if I was holding so-and-so's child instead of you. Disrespectful to the max. Down with evil mother-in-law. There's a phrase that this reminds me of. Like in Scooby-Doo, it's basically a mystery gang series. If you guys haven't watched it before, I love it. I love the show. I love the whole Scooby-Doo franchise, series, shows, and movies. I've watched basically all of them. My point here is, at the end of every show, when the gang catches the villain always says, you meddling kids. In this case, it's you meddling mother-in-law. She seems to be enjoying this whole situation way too much. And also, what the heck is the husband doing? Is he dumb? I mean, I'm pretty sure he knows what he did was not okay because he's hidden it from his wife for 3 years. I'm just sad that wife is finding out now and not even from her partner, but from a third party who's clearly enjoying her misery. OP does have an edit. He was there when it happened. He told his mom to shut up. Then he admitted he went on the date and admitted the reason his mom told me was the truth. I'm starting to think I should have a sound effect whenever the D word gets dropped. But I'm dropping it here, guys. Divorced him. I know you guys might be saying, oh, that's really hasty for something he did 3 years ago. But it's the context of what he did and why he did it. You're telling me he wasn't secure enough in his relationship? So offense one is him lying, first of all, and holding the secret away from OP. And if his mom didn't say it, would he have ever said it? Probably not. And the second thing is, when he was insecure in his relationship, he didn't go to OP, his partner, first. He didn't even go to his mom first. He went to his ex. That's a huge red flag. For that reason, I think that would break my trust in the partner. Not gonna lie, I would dump him. Divorce is looking quite pretty right now, OP. But that's just my opinion. I am so disgusted with the behavior of the mom, the lying of the husband. Honestly, hope that OP is able to figure out her situation, process her feelings, and then decide however she wants to proceed about it. Although I would highly recommend kicking out the mother-in-law and not associating with her further. All right, next story, guys, is from the subreddit, Am I Overreacting? Am I overreacting because my ex ate my egg roll? I'm a big foodie, guy, so I'm always down for any food-related disputes. I am the grand jury for resolving food disputes. I'm ready for this one. OP says, I, 41-year-old female, and my ex, husband, 40-year-old male, unfortunately still live together. The way this is phrased is so funny to me. I and my ex-husband unfortunately still live together. That actually does sound both unfortunate and miserable. Oh, I bet you he's a food thief. I smell it. I'm kind of craving egg rolls too as I'm reading this. OP says, we just recently got divorced, but we're still living in the same house until our house sells, which is hopefully soon. I was feeling like crap today, so I took off the afternoon from work to sit in my recliner, cuddled up with a blanket and watching TV. Okay, that sounds like a relaxing evening. OP says, our son was on his tablet and mentioned he was hungry, but I didn't have the energy to get up and make something, so I decided to order Chinese food. I was craving wonton soup, along with some orange chicken, steamed rice, and an egg roll, so I ordered it. If you guys saw me swallow just now, it's because I'm actually imagining food. Although I have to say, I'm less of an orange chicken type of gal when it comes to ordering Chinese, and I'm more of a beef and broccoli. Ooh, and an egg drop soup. OP continues, 20 minutes later, it was delivered and I went to plate my food. I got a phone call and was distracted by the conversation even after I told the caller I wasn't feeling well and my throat hurt. The call continued on for 40 more minutes. I should have ended it sooner, but I didn't. My food was cold, but instead I ate anyways. I was putting the leftovers away when I searched the bag for my egg roll. I didn't notice it in the bag, the fridge, or anywhere else. I asked my son if he ate it and he said no. The ex ate the egg roll. OP says, I knocked on my ex's door to ask if he'd seen the egg roll and he said he ate it. He's the a-hole. Done. Case closed. No more details needed. I'm kidding, guys. But no, for real, he is the a-hole. They have separated, literally. And they may be living in the same house, but that's just because they're waiting on their house selling so they can move out. That's fine. But to me, that doesn't mean you can resume back to your normal pre-divorce ways. I'm guessing he just saw food was available and ate it. Basically, they're roommates, right? He just stole from his roommate. Ex just stole. I think so. I know it's just an egg roll, but it's still food thievery. OP says, before I continue, I'd like to preface this that this man quit his job several months ago before our divorce was finalized and hasn't worked since because he's simply waiting for us to sell the house. And he sees no point in continuing to work when he's about to get a major windfall. Thus, he doesn't work, doesn't help, doesn't do anything. Meanwhile, I work 3 jobs, care for the kids and the dogs, and ask for very little in return except that everyone clean up after themselves. Work has been insane as of late, but I work my job so I can save up money to get away from this toxic environment and nightmare. This man had the audacity to eat my egg roll. I feel OP's hunger and hanger and intensity. I mean, she put it all in caps too. OP, you're justified. I feel your pain. How dare you eat her egg roll? Had he asked, hey, can I eat this? I wouldn't be as upset. While we continue to live in the same house, I'm still trying to be as nice as I can to make this ending a little more bearable. We only interact when necessary, which is hardly ever, and I'm always polite or cordial. Oh, but you don't have to explain yourself. You can stop there. He is fully in the wrong. X is basically a stranger, and they're having a co-parenting slash, if you can even say that with his lack of involvement, but co-living space roommate situation. So the fact that he didn't even ask, at least say something. Can I have this? And if wife says no, or ex-wife says no, then it's a no. I'm just imagining that he was in his room, he didn't know about the food being ordered, and then he smells the Chinese food wafting, the scent wafting from under the doorways or something. And then he takes an opportunity and just scurries out and swipes the egg roll like a thief and then runs back home to his room. Or I guess runs back to his room to eat it and hoping that no one catches him. I hate it. The audacity to not even apologize for the situation too. I'm glad OP divorced her husband. He sucks. He's an egg roll thief. OP continues, I got so mad that I took his baked potatoes he had cooled off on the stove and squished them to bits and threw them outside. I also made my displeasure known by slamming some doors, which is juvenile, but I was so mad. Am I overreacting about squishing his potatoes because he ate my egg roll? I love the food retaliation. I mean, no, I don't love it, guys. As a mature individual, it is not okay to waste food. However, as a realistic person who loves food and is all for this, in this one instance, petty revenge, you go, OP. You go. You squish his potatoes. How dare he steal your egg roll? I'm dying a little bit because I'm just imagining the tension in the house right now over potatoes and egg rolls. I mean, sure, you have the underlying residual tension already existing from the fact that they just divorced and have to live together and have a kid together. But other than that, potatoes and egg roll. I would pay money to see this action happen in real life. I mean, I'm just imagining she's so mad. She takes his potato. She's like mashing it all angrily. And then she just goes, gone. No more potatoes for you. Nope, that's it. First comment, I have to admit, I laughed out loud at the petty revenge. OP says, I also stomped my feet. You go, you stomp your foot. Another comment, this was great. Eat my egg roll? How dare you? Squishes baked potatoes with glee. OP says, it felt amazing, and then I felt kind of badly afterwards, but honestly, if he wants to eat other meals, he should get up off his skinny behind and work. Preach, girl, preach. Another comment, not overreacting. This might be some extra signal that splitting up was and is the right move. OP says, I'm so excited that I broke up with him, but closing day can't come soon enough. Good for OP. I feel for her. She's shouldering 3 jobs, taking care of her kid, the dogs, and having to fight off a food thief. It's a lot to handle. And all at once, especially the egg roll. I'd be so sad, especially because it's the last food item. Okay, I don't know if I'm the only one who does this, but when I order foods, sometimes I have a habit of saving the best for last. Like I'll eat the main dishes first, and then that one side dish or that one treat I really like, I'll save for last because I want to savor it as the best part of the meal, end the meal on a high note. I'm wondering if OP had the same mindset here. Is that's why she didn't discover the egg roll earlier, is because she was focused on eating other things. And so when she reached for the egg roll, she was so excited to have it. And then bam, only to find out it's been consumed by no one other than her freaking ex-husband, who's a mooch and a leech, it looks like. So good for you, girl. I really enjoyed this story. Although very unfortunate situation, but very hilarious outcome. I'm glad OP got her revenge. In stories like this, we don't always get to see a conclusion, so to speak, but it's nice to see that OP got a chance to avenge herself here. All right, next one is a wedding story. I know you guys really love the wedding one, so had to include one. Subreddit, am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for giving my wedding dress to my future daughter-in-law instead of my stepdaughter? I, 42-year-old female, got married 24 years ago. I decided that if I had a daughter, I would pass the dress and accessories on to her. I chose a simple, elegant dress rather than what was fashionable at the time because I wanted something timeless that people could wear for generations to come. I had my son, Mark, now 22-year-old male, a year after, and his father passed away when he was young. I raised Mark as a single mom for several years. I decided that when Mark married, I would give my dress and accessories to his wife. When I was 33, I met Rob. now 52-year-old male. I fell in love with him and we quickly married. He became a great father figure for Mark, and I was so excited to have a stepdaughter, Molly, now 24-year-old female. My relationship with Molly had a rocky beginning. I've been patient and gentle with her. I've offered to take her shopping or get her nails done. I asked Rob about her favorite foods and made sure to cook those. She made it clear that she didn't see me as her real mom. Years passed, and I never changed the way I treated Molly. My door was always open for her, but she never changed the way she thought about me. She called me a trophy wife to my face. If I ever threw a charity event, she would remark, "Wow, you're so generous with dad's money." While she didn't say anything explicitly, I could tell she looked down on me for not having a college degree. Oh, we got an interesting dynamic here. So, OP has a son from a previous relationship, and her husband, well, that husband passed away, and she's now together with Rob. They do share some age difference. So, I'm wondering if that's why Molly, the stepdaughter, feels a little bit weird and why that might be part of the reason why the relationship is strained. And Molly just doesn't like OP at all, despite her attempts. I don't think OP is entitled to Molly's acceptance. It would be nice, despite her efforts, but she's not entitled to it. At the same time, Molly continuously diminishing OP's presence and calling her names and looking down on her for not having a college degree is very gross. You don't have to like her, but you also don't have to go out of your way to say these hurtful things either, especially when she's trying to be nice to you. OP continues, a couple years ago, I made a final offering to Molly. I brought her into my closet and showed her the dress and accessories and told her I would love for her to wear them at her wedding. Some alterations would have to be done. I'm 5'9" and a size 4, while Molly is 5'4" and a size 8. But we could make it work. Molly scoffed and said I had archaic values and that the dress was trashy and walked out. That really hurt because she knew what the dress meant to me and she didn't care. After that, I stopped making as much of an effort to build a relationship with her. And Molly deserves it. That's so hurtful. You can dislike someone, but you don't need to go out of your way to make sure to ruin a sentimental piece to them. It just feels like Molly again and again tried to go out of her way to hurt OP in any way possible. OP says, 2 months ago, Mark proposed to his college sweetheart, Lucy, with whom I have a great relationship. When Lucy mentioned dress shopping, I showed her my dress. Lucy tried on and it fit like a glove. She fell in love with it, and I told her the dress, shoes, and accessories were hers. She was so happy she literally cried. However, a couple days ago, Molly reached out to me out of the blue to ask if the dress was still available. I told her I'd given it to Lucy. She asked if she could get it back from Lucy since I offered it to her first. And I told her, 1, she said she didn't want it, and 2, it fits Lucy perfectly, and 3, Lucy is the only one getting married within the foreseeable future. Now Molly is saying I'm favoring Lucy over her because she's conforming to traditional standards of femininity, which is getting married and being thin. That's absolutely baloney. But it got me thinking that if the roles were reversed and Lucy was the one asking for the dress after initially turning it down, would I give it to her? Is Molly right that I'm favoring Lucy? Am I the a-hole? See, I don't even think the question is whether or not OP's favoring Lucy. Because even if OP was favoring Lucy, sure, why not? Go for it. I'm all for it. Lucy's the one that's reciprocating the relationship, it seems. And Lucy and OP actually have a nice relationship. Whereas Molly has basically shut down OP and diminished OP's presence time and time again and stomped on all things nice and precious to her. So even if the situation was reversed and OP ended up changing her mind and wanting to give it to Lucy, I'd say go for it. It's your dress. You do what you want. I know there's potentially favorism here, but yeah, you can favor people who are nice to you and disfavor or unfavor people who weren't. I don't think that's the issue here. I think the bigger problem is that Molly's not even getting married, but now all of a sudden she marches in wanting the dress back, quote unquote, wanting the dress back after already saying, no, I don't like the dress, blah, blah, blah. And also bringing the whole traditional conformity thing. If you're not planning on getting married, why do you need OP's wedding dress, first of all? And what's wrong with wanting to be married and being thin? There's nothing inherently wrong with that idea at all. So I don't like that Molly is now also attacking Lucy in a way for being thin and wanting to be married. Very weird. Very weird. I think it's more of a possessive issue. Or maybe just an issue of misery likes company of, oh, I don't want you to be happy, so I'm going to try and take away everything that you hold dear and reverse all your decision making. I think it's more about that and being petty rather than Molly genuinely wanting the dress and wanting to appreciate it. I wouldn't be surprised if OP really gives Molly the dress instead, that Molly would tear it up into pieces or something and then show OP just to cause her pain. Molly seems like that type of person. Let's check out the comments. Not they all, Molly only wants it because Lucy has it. This. Lucy recognized how precious this dress was to you and treated it accordingly. Molly turned her nose up in an attempt to hurt you. Lucy accepting the dress sounds like a wonderful bonding moment for you both. Cherish the memory and ease your mind. You've done nothing wrong. Edit to say, if Molly isn't getting married, I wouldn't put it past her to take the dress to cut it up into something else. This is exactly what I just told you guys. I wouldn't be surprised. I think she's going to try and sabotage the dress. Another comment, not they all, you actually favored the stepdaughter by offering it to her first, and she not only said no, but then insulted you in return. The dress is now gone. It's not yours to decide about any longer anyway. Out of curiosity, if that is the dress you married your first husband in, what did you wear in your second wedding? So I didn't see an answer from OP, but OP did provide an update. Update, wow, thank you for all your kind words. I wanted to give an update to respond to general questions and comments. First, I want to say that the fact that most of the comments are not the a-hole is very reassuring. It makes me feel better about my decision to not give my dress to Molly. I saw some comments suggesting this, so I would like to let you know I already gave the dress to Lucy, and it's safe in her apartment now. Molly has already been bugging Lucy about the dress, but Lucy told me there's, quote, no way in heck she's giving it away. Some of you have also been wondering about Mark and Rob's responses. Mark is currently out of town on business, and I have had no communication with him on this matter. I'm sure he'll be supportive of Lucy, though. I did not bring this up to Rob because while Molly and I have a difficult relationship, I didn't want to sow division between her and her father. However, Rob brought it up last night, saying Molly had contacted him on the matter. Rob was like, you aren't going to give it to her, are you? When I said no, he told me to promise him that I would not give the dress to her. It was very comforting to know Rob is on my side. Okay, I was holding my breath for husband's response on this, but go Rob. I'm so glad that he didn't favor his daughter over his wife's feelings when clearly his daughter's in the wrong. I love it. I love when partners actually stand by their partners. It's kind of a rarity in some of these stories. Opie says, another thing I want to get clear, I do not expect Molly to conform to certain standards. When I referred to traditional standards of femininity, getting married and being thin, I was paraphrasing words that came out of her mouth. I was raised in a traditional household, but I understand that a lot of women, especially young women, do not share my values. Frankly, Lucy doesn't either. She has an engineering degree and openly talks about wanting to prioritize her career over starting a family, at least for the foreseeable future. And I couldn't be happier for her. I do realize that I could have done a better job communicating to Molly that I don't care what she does, so long as she's a good person and she leaves the world better than when she found it. Lastly, because after reading the comments, I fear I painted Molly in a bad light. I would say Molly painted herself in a bad light, OP. OP says, I should say that Molly has had a rough life due to the divorce between Bob and her biological mother. I've never met her mother, and I don't want to go into gross detail on the internet about someone's life other than my own, but I will say that her relationship with her mother is not great. I think Molly might be projecting aspects of that relationship onto me. However, your comments have helped me realize she's in the wrong in this situation. I've also realized that it isn't just on me to build a relationship with her. She has to work at it too. And so far, she has not. I'm never going to shut her out, but at this point, if she wants to connect with me, she has to be the one making the effort. I really hope the best for her, but she sure as heck isn't getting that dress. Yes, OP. I think OP sounds very kind here because despite narrating her perspective, she also acknowledges, hey, Molly's not that bad. She's gone through things. I feel for Molly, but just because you've gone through things, it doesn't give you the right to then rain on everyone else's parade in life. And her projecting her own problems onto OP is not the answer. I think Molly's going to be missing out the most if she continues to reject OP's attempts at a relationship and doesn't try to connect. I wonder what Molly's relationship with her dad is, though. Because if she rejects her stepmom so severely because of the divorce issue, does she also resent her dad in the same way? Something tells me that the fact that she kept running to Rob, her dad, the minute she couldn't get the dress, that maybe she and Rob don't have that bad a relationship, and she kind of blames OP, who came later in life, for any negative feelings she has about the divorce. I don't know, but that's just my 2 cents. Our last story is from the subreddit AITA. Am I the a-hole for considering divorce after my wife and her family broke my trust? Oof. Trust is a tricky thing. It's hard to earn, but easy to lose. And especially between partners and couples, I don't know that you can ever fully gain back the trust that you lost in the first place. Let's see what wife and her family did to break OP's trust. My wife, Emily, and I have been married for 5 years, and up until recently, I thought our relationship was rock solid. We've had our ups and downs like any couple, but nothing that ever made me seriously question our future together. That changed 2 weeks ago when I discovered something that's shaken me to my core, and now I'm contemplating divorce. Opie says, Emily comes from a very close-knit family, which I admired at first. Her parents and siblings are always around, often unannounced, but I didn't mind because family is important to her. I tried to be understanding even when they would offer unsolicited advice or subtly criticize how I do things. I figured it was just part of her being married to someone with such a tight family bond. No, I think this is a boundary issue. I am not a fan of people showing up unannounced, even if it's family for the most part. Like, at least give me a heads up. But the biggest problem I have here is the whole unsolicited advice and criticizing OP. Your partner should have your back. Your partner should say something on your behalf. Not that you can't defend yourself, but if it's your partner's family doing it, I think it's much better coming from the partner rather than from you. She should stand up for her partner and say, hey, that's not cool. Stop talking about my partner like that, or stop criticizing him. Like, chill. OP continues, however, about a month ago, I started noticing that Emily was acting a bit strange, more secretive than usual, hiding her phone whenever I walked into the room, whispering during phone calls, and making excuses to leave the house alone. When I asked her about it, she brushed it off, saying she was just planning a surprise for me. This is going to end badly, isn't it? The negative Nancy part of me is thinking, is she cheating? Is she hiding a secret lover? Is this where we're going? And her family's in on it? But then the other side of me is saying, oh, maybe she's planning a surprise party for him. Opie continues, last week while she was out shopping, I received a message on Facebook from a mutual friend linking me to a private group chat that Emily had apparently forgotten to log out of on her shared laptop. What I saw in that chat devastated me. Emily, her parents, and her 2 sisters were discussing an elaborate plan to convince me to sell our home, my childhood home left to me by my late parents, so that we could buy a new house closer to her family. They were even talking about ways to manipulate me into thinking it was my idea, playing on my emotions about starting a family soon. That is disgusting. Are you sure, OP, are you sure you married your wife and someone who loves you and not a secret enemy or something who has it out for you? This is conspiracy. This is the whole elaborate plot. And also, how did the friend know? The friend that sent OP the link to the private Facebook group chat? Is this maybe a mutual friend I'm thinking who is exposing the wife? Or is this mutual friend someone that kind of heard it somehow from the wife or the family? This is some K-drama level family betrayal right here. I mean, playing on using OP's emotion, wanting to start a family and trying to use that to convince him. It's one thing if wife was wanting to sell the home and move closer to her family. That's fine. But you discuss that with your partner. You don't try to play and manipulate your partner's emotions and have these discussions and plotting chats with your family. That's just unhinged. OP continues, the most gut-wrenching part, they were mocking me, calling me gullible and too attached to the past, saying that I wouldn't even realize what was happening until it was too late. Emily was actively participating in this, agreeing with their every word. So Emily, the wife, is a villain and OP's worst enemy and secretly hates him. Even if they didn't have this crazy group chat, the fact that she's okay with her family mocking her partner, calling him gullible, too attached to the past and all that, Emily's an a-hole. I know the question didn't even ask if Emily was an a-hole, but Emily's an a-hole. Opie continues, I confronted Emily that night and she didn't deny any of it. She tried to justify it by saying she thought it was in our best interest to be closer to her family, especially with us planning to have our kids soon. She claimed that they weren't trying to hurt me, but rather trying to do what was best for our future. That's gross. This would make me rethink whether or not I want to start a family with Emily, because her approach to a problem or a desire she had was to then make the decision without OP in a sense and try to bulldoze him into it. And when confronted, she just goes, no, babe, I did it for you. I hate that. No, Emily, you did it for yourself and your own selfish desires. It's nasty to try and manipulate your partner this way. OP says, I told her that if she had just talked to me about it directly, I might have considered it. But the fact that she was plotting behind my back with her family, making fun of me in the process, felt like the ultimate betrayal. I asked her how I could ever trust her again after this. She apologized profusely, saying she made a mistake and would never go behind my back again. But I'm not sure if I can believe her. Nope, you can't. I wouldn't believe her either. Trust has been broken. OP says, now I'm seriously considering divorce. I didn't drop it first this time. OP did. I say go for it, OP. You dodged a huge bullet. Well, not really because you're already married, but you would be dodging one. Because can you imagine what would happen when they have kids? What if they have disagreements on how to parent the kid or where to send the kids to school or how to discipline the child? And every single time, wife just goes running to her family and plotting, ooh, I can manipulate him this way. What an idiot that he wants to XYZ. It just seems uncomfortable long term. Opie says, now I'm seriously considering divorce. The thought of staying married to someone who could deceive me so easily and who had no problem involving her entire family in the deception makes me sick to my stomach. But at the same time, I'm questioning whether I'm overreacting. Emily insists that she had good intentions and her family's acting like I'm the one being unreasonable by even thinking about leaving her over this. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for considering divorce over this? Or is my wife and her family the real a-holes for conspiring behind my back? The conspirators, the betrayers are the a-hole. I don't think this is too small of a thing to consider divorce. If anything, it's the opposite. I think this is big enough to even involve the family, the wife's family. Ugh. I don't know that I would ever trust that I even know my partner after this. It would feel a little two-faced, to be honest. That to my face, she's this loving person, but behind my back, she's plotting to manipulate me like a puppet to do as she says and what her family wants. That's scary. I don't know that I would ever look at my partner the same way if I found out that this is what they were doing behind my back. And I'm wondering now because she was out shopping and she's been distant and acting weird because she's preparing some sort of surprise. Is the surprise something like, oh, look at this new home, like a listing for a new home that she's going to pressure OP to buy under the disguise of, oh, look, it just coincidentally happens to be in the same neighborhood as my family. Look how awesome it is. Let's just sell our current house. Is that her big surprise? Is that what she was planning? First comment, not the old. She could have been an actual partner and speak with you on how she wants to move closer to her family. Instead, she's sneakily trying to force you out of your family home and sell it. Be careful since everyone's on her side and telling you you are wrong. She might want to get pregnant to get her plan through. Hope you took screenshots of that. Disgusting behavior from all of them, immature and huge deception. I agree. The lying is just not it. It's one thing to convince your partner, but it is a whole other bucket of crazy to have a whole conspiracy theory with your family, especially as his wife. She should probably know how significant the family home is to him. Another comment, I really got to stop thinking these posts are going to turn out how I think they are because this one took a blind curve. Same. You and me both. I thought this was a cheating story. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Commenter continues. You are not the a-hole. Your soon-to-be ex-wife and family did more than just break your trust. They belittled you, they intended to manipulate you, and they minimized your connection with your family home. My advice, get out now before you have a child together and they grow up with a toxic mother that won't hesitate to manipulate them. Ooh, that is a good point. If this is how she treats her partner, whom she's supposed to respect as an equal, imagine how she's going to be parenting your child. I hope that OP does end up following through with his divorce because his trust is already gone. The deception's there, and I doubt that them being caught once will change their ways, to be honest. Because wife doesn't sound apologetic because of what she did. She sounds apologetic because she got caught. And that tells me she's likely to try this again. And hopefully it won't involve the kid when whatever next happens. My heart goes out to him because it's a triple layered betrayal here. Betrayal from your partner, betrayal from the wife's family. It's sad. And I hope that he's able to process his feelings, figure out his situation, and decide what's best for him and not be guilted. Because I think in this situation, he's surrounded by people saying, no, you're wrong. You're overreacting. So it seems like they're trying to gaslight him into thinking that he's in the wrong. I hope that he's able to stand strong, find a support system that can help him assess the situation more clearly in a way that benefits him and move on from this family and the toxic wife. Because this is not someone that has your back. This is someone who's going to stab you in the back. So that was the last story in today's episode. We've gotten a lot of chaotic, messed up things happening, from egg roll thievery to lying to partners and even a conspiracy. If you guys like this episode, don't forget to smash the like button and hit the subscribe button. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.